IGT, baby.
What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Junior Mafia coming back to you with another video. So we gotta talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw, and man, the unthinkable happened. And based on my thumbnail, then what you see, I'm just as shocked as y'all. So we're gonna discuss all that right now. Let's not waste any time. So we had Division, Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman coming out. And, you know, Seth is in a good mood. You know, he's excited, especially handling business and beating Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel and finally getting that monkey off his back and becoming the Crown Jewel champion. So he goes in there and he pretty much appreciating both Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and even Paul Heyman as well. And then proceeds to say that when it came down, you know, to Roman Reigns and to Cody Rhodes and stuff like that, like they needed help. Like Roman needed the Shield, Cody Rhodes needed me. I didn't need them. He's saying like I didn't need Bronson Reed, I didn't need Braun Breaker, hell, even Paul Heyman. And as all of that happened, if you look at Braun Breaker's face, he has a straight face. He ain't reacting on anything. You see, Bronson Reed is pretty much acknowledging everything Seth is saying, embracing it. But Braun Breaker, nothing at all. No reaction, anything. And, you know, you could tell just based on when he went to Braun Breaker, when he acknowledged him the first time, and he was talking about, you know, do that thing with your head, tweak out. And he was hesitant on it until you took the glasses off and did it. You know, just to go with the flow. But you can tell to where the point where he doesn't give a damn what Seth was saying. And so he pretty much was talking about how, you know, again, he calling himself the GOAT, the visionary, all the shit that he normally would say. So once that was done, he leaves out and all that. Later on in the show and whatnot, because you see the Usos, which I'm gonna talk about now. They pretty much backstage was talking about with Roman Reigns and how he pretty much like up and left them. Like he didn't care about anything we had to say. He was just pretty much doing his own thing. And you see Jay saying that maybe we should all do our own thing as well. So, you know, Jimmy ain't having that. And, you know, he's kind of disagreeing with the whole situation. And, you know, he was saying like, nah, like we need to handle business, you know, with the vision. And Jay said, that's the problem. I've been putting all my attention towards the vision and handling their business. Whereas I've been trying to get my World Heavyweight Championship back. And it pretty much cost me, you know, making that happen. So they pretty much had a back and forth, and he was telling, you know, Jay, just go do your own thing. Let me put my attention on to the triple threat match later on with Punk and LA Knight. So Jimmy said, you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit the business with Bronson Reed and leave it at that. So that match comes up and all that. And as we expect, it wasn't going to last that long. It was pretty much going to potentially be a squash match, which it happened. Like, Jimmy had a little bit of offense. You know, he walked in there with a sense of urgency. And match starts, you know, going back and forth. But, of course, when Bronson Reed had that upper hand, it was all she wrote. You know, once he pretty much packed him out, go up there, hit a tsunami on him, pins him for the 1, 2, 3. Match done. So afterwards, when it was done, Braun Breaker comes out. And he comes out there. And at this point right now, they just literally destroying Jimmy right now. He ran the ropes, hits him with a spear, and remember his wrist was taped up, so they took the tape off, everything, took it off, and all that, and looking to destroy him by that barricade that's set on the side of the by the ring announcer and all that. You know, they used to like spear people through, and set him up right there. And Braun Breaker sees it, and right when he's getting ready to put him through the barricade, J music hits. So he come out there, and all that. Trying to help save him and stuff like that. And it works for a little bit. Then you start to see him in full control, but Jay started to shake it off and got them up out of there. And you see the interaction between him and Jimmy, and he's pretty much saying like, "Yo, I'm gonna need you to tighten up right now. Like, look how you doing shit, and I can't be sitting here helping you out constantly." So you starting to see the change of Jay, especially towards Jimmy, and pretty much like treating him bad. And it's just like, bro, like I'm not gonna sit here and continuously helping you out. I need you to step your game up and hold your own. So expect to see that a lot more, as these weeks to come and all that. There's definitely going to be a whole lot of friction and stuff like that. So we're going to cut to the main event. Actually, no, I'm going to talk about backstage, because you see Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman backstage. They're talking and stuff like that. And Bronson Reed and Ron Breakker comes back from, pretty much doing damage to the Usos. And, of course, with Bronson Reed beating Jimmy Uso. So you see Seth kind of embracing it, saying, congratulations to y'all. Like, I'm happy for y'all. Like, these last 6 months, it's been hell, so to speak, but I feel relieved. And, again, acknowledging them about the success and them being part of the division and all that. And he brings stuff about, with the birth of my daughter, marrying my wife, and watching y'all two grow to where you're at right now as like main event stars, all of that stuff. He said he plays a big role in that, and he appreciates that. Now again, if you look at Braun Breaker's face, he's not reacting to any of that. Bronson Reed's the only one engaging about it. Braun Breaker, not so much. And you knew that was going to play a big role down the line. So we cut to the main event match. It's CM Punk versus LA Knight versus Jey Uso. And match was good. Very back and forth. All 3 men had offense and all that too. And, we get towards the tail end of the match. And you see LA Knight has the upper hand over CM Punk. And he goes in for the pin. Jey able to break it up. And as it happened, he takes LA Knight out the ring, throws him into the steel steps, and he gets on the top rope to try to do the Uso splash on the CM Punk. CM Punk got the knees up and was able to counter that into the GTS and was able to pin him for the 1, for the 2, for the 3. And now CM Punk is your number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. And as it's going on, he's celebrating and all that. Seth Rollins' music hits. So you see them walking, slowly walking. Braun Breaker ain't waste no time, got through all of them, and proceeded to spear the shit out of Jey Uso. And once it was done, and you think he about to target CM Punk, he looked and see LA Knight on the opposite side of the ring and tell him, watch this. Goes around, full speed ahead, and spears the shit out of LA Knight. You gotta throw the X up for him. It was a wrap. So now they cornered the ring. So now you got Seth on the left, Braun Breaker on the right, and Bronson Reed in the middle. And they get up there. Bronson Reed gets in there. He goes on attack mode, and he try, Punk try to defend him off, like get him off him. Then you see Braun Breaker gets in the mix, and then now he's just outnumbered at this point. And they proceed to put the brakes on him. Same thing they did to Jimmy, where you see Braun Breaker running the ropes. He spears the crap out of him. And then you see him drag his body. When you have Bronson Reed go up there, hits a tsunami on him. So now he's pretty much done and knocked out of the equation. So once it's all said and done, and we're thinking it's the same old thing that happens every week on Raw, when you see the vision of Seth and them like standing tall yet again. They hit that same pose. You see the credits rolling and all that. What ended up happening afterwards caught all of us on guard. So once this was done, you see Braun Breaker slowly like walking back. And when Seth Rollins turns around, you see Braun Breaker hits him with a fucking spear. Lays him out. And it caught everybody by surprise, because we did not expect that at all. But one could make the argument that Braun Breaker had enough of it. And how many times Seth kept saying like, I'm the person that's like, it was me. Everything ran through me. Pretty much self-proclaiming himself to doing the dirty work, where you had Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker doing that. And it was only a matter of time to where he was going to snap and say enough is enough. So as he's spinning them, you see the look on Bronson Reed's face, and it looked like he wants to do something. So Braun Breaker looks at him. Now Paul Heyman looks stunned, and he tells him firsthand, like, you either with me or against me. And it took a minute for Bronson Reed to really like digest everything that happened. And then he looks back and he said, you know what? Fuck it. Proceeds to go around, grabs Seth Rollins, drags him all the way to the corner, and gets onto the top rope and hits a tsunami on him. Now as that's done, now Paul even looks stunned now because he's like, yo, Seth Rollins laid out right now, and you have Braun Breaker pretty much destroy him alongside with Bronson Reed and all. And as this happened, you look at Paul Heyman like he had to make a choice. Like, either he going to rock with Seth Rollins, or he going to align himself with Braun Breaker or the Bronze. Paul wastes no time and lift both of their arms up. And now, this is when things changes for the worse. Because this group hasn't even lasted for dang near 6 months. Hell, not even close to a year. And already, it's already dismantled. And this was courtesy of Seth Rollins and him taking all of the credit, all of the glory, everything, and think there was not going to be no consequences behind that. And at this point right now, where he think he was sitting on top of, on a mountaintop and all that, and saying nobody can never knock me down, you knew that it was only opening the door for somebody to kick that shit down and knock him down a peg. And it was Braun Breaker to do so. Now with this happening right here, as we thinking that it would potentially be a War Games match where you had Division taking on, the likes of Braun Breaker and, not Braun Breaker, excuse me, like Jey Uso, excuse me, CM Punk, LA Knight on them. Forget about that, because it looked like for War Games it's gonna be set up with the YS6 taking on MFT. You kind of saw that comes SmackDown that passed, and they was in a ring with each other. Solo and MFT and the YS6 and all, and that's what it looked like. It's setting up for War Games down the line. And for anybody who thinking that this is an opportunity for Brock Lesnar to join Paul Heyman and the Bronze, no. Like, Brock walks to the beat of his own drum. Like, he don't take orders from anybody, whatever the case may be. So we're gonna take that out of the equation. But this also can stand for Seth being injured, because I think he injured his tricep during that match against Cody Rhodes. So that's another thing that we had to pay close attention to, because he brought attention to that after the match and stuff like that, and that might have had carried on, especially throughout the night. So this right here was shocking. I didn't expect him to break up like this fast, because all of us was given like a couple of months until one of them was going to potentially turn, and we all thought it was going to be Braun Breaker, but I expected it to happen to tonight. That was the shock of it all. So, man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it, man. But they pulled the trigger. So, comment down below. Let me know what you think about Monday Night Raw. I think it was a solid show. Definitely caught a lot of us by surprise of what happened towards the tail end of it and all that. And if I had to give it a rating, I had to give it I give it an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10, 8.5 in that case. We had some solid matches on there and all that, and some build-ups that lead into next week on Raw. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, let me know what you think about it, how you feel about the turn of the Bronze and Paul Heyman turning on Seth Rollins and all that, and what do you think where this goes after this. So y'all let me know down in the comments down below. But I appreciate y'all love and support as always. Continue to keep God first. Trust the process of anything that you do at life. Your time will come. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Peace.